Hello. So, as someone with chronic illness, it can be very difficult to work, make an income, all that kind of thing. So, one thing I love to do is share ways to make things accessible for us. And one of the things that I have been playing with over the last kind of 10 years is micro business ideas or online business ideas. And obviously, they stem from like having a blog or a YouTube channel, but that's a bit different when you're looking at it from a chronic illness perspective. So everything I have done has started organically, and I just like to try things out, and I love to learn new skills. So everything I've done is just because I'm chasing new skills, and I'm just working with ways to serve my audience. Because the thing is that this is kind of new. I've been blogging for 10 years. And so the idea of supporting the chronic illness community online and making it sustainable by making an income is an uncharted kind of journey. And so I've tried a few things, and things have had to change because I have 4 small children, my own health to manage, and I have a part-time job which I will not give up. I work in the nonprofit sector and I'm very passionate about what I do. The organization I work for is kind of adjacent in the issue that they deal with versus what I'm doing here. And there are some similarities. And so actually the skills that I've learned in my online business help me in my work. And I think that's really wonderful. So a lot of the ways to kind of make money online or micro business ideas are wonderful skill builders. And so I wanted to share today 12 plus ideas that you might want to look into if you are considering trying to make a side hustle or trying to make some income online from home. They are varied ideas. Some of them I've tried, some of them I haven't, so I have got some tips for you. But like I said, it all started organically for me, and if I was to start again and do it again and be intentional about it, I wouldn't have tried so many things. I would pick one thing and work on it hard. It's easier for you as a person to manage, but it's also easier for your audience to follow. But so where this all came from is I've got a post and YouTube video that's very popular on this topic. And I've been trying to go through my blog posts and see what needs updating, what can become like a guide for people, what can I give to my patrons. So I have a Patreon where people support me, and I love to be able to give them things back. So I give them free access to these guides. And then from time to time as well, I make free guides. And this one is particularly important. I think we need to be able to figure out how to do this chronic illness friendly. So what I'm doing now is an updated version of something I've done a while ago, but I've got a lot more knowledge to go with it, and I've been able to compile it in a better way. So if you would like the free guide, the download is below. But let's get started without further ado. Number one, micro business way to make money online with chronic illness is digital products. So printables, templates, worksheets, that kind of thing. I created an Etsy store several years ago because I was ending up with a lot of these worksheets. I was sharing, my sleep diaries, my pain management plan, all of that kind of thing. And it did quite well. In that kind of first boom of the digital products on Etsy, I had a small, consistent income. I didn't even have to do that much. And I have transitioned to putting it onto my own store. So I have a PayHip store where they are available now. That's where you will get your free guide as well. It's in my PayHip store. It's a wonderful way to do it because you can compile information or product and sell it, and when it's digital it means you don't have to always be right there in the process. So if you're having a bad day, the process can happen for you. So some ideas for this include arts or prints, positive quotes or affirmations, worksheets, templates like social media templates, checklists and guides, and ebooks. So for example, like I said, I had a lot of like sleep diaries and pain management, and so one of my things is the wellness planner kit, and that is all of my key worksheets kind of from A to Z, basically like a do-it-yourself coaching. So the things that I would have taken someone through in order that makes sense, but also you can take it out of order. And so that's in my PayHip store and my Etsy store, and in the guide I have a link so you can check it out. Now the next one is, it's more like owning your own business, but it's an online virtual assistant. And so it just means that you can work from home, you can be more picky with your clients, you can provide some flexibility maybe for small businesses who can't afford to hire someone full-time, and you can do the type of work that interests you the most. Now, it is kind of time consuming to find the work and the clients in the first place. I recommend that you get good systems for, onboarding and invoicing and all of that kind of thing, just to make it as efficient as possible. But it's a wonderful way when you're dealing with uncertainty in your health. And you can specialize in certain areas. So you can specialize in working with small business owners. You can specialize helping bloggers. You could be a Pinterest VA. You could be a social media manager. You could do bookkeeping. I don't recommend just doing bookkeeping. I recommend doing a course on it because it is something you want to be very careful with. Podcasting, editing, website support, transcription services, ghostwriting. I mean, there really is, the sky's the limit. Essentially, it's a service-based business. The next one is blogging. The trick though is that blogging, same as YouTube, which we'll talk about a bit later, it's like a vehicle for other things. So you don't really make a lot of money just from the blog. Like, the idea of having a blog and earning lots of advertising revenue, I feel like there's not that many people who make like a full-time income or even a decent part-time income just from that. But it is a really good way to share valuable knowledge and as a vehicle for these other things. So I started my blog like 10 years ago. I've had to learn all the different things along the way, how to write a blog post, how to tell people about the blog post, how to create images. And then eventually I compiled blog posts into other things, and they became other entries in this list. But also the thing about blogging is that you can use affiliate marketing. So if I believe in something, then I could get a link for it, say through the Amazon program, and tell you about it. For example, when I tell you about books or MSM supplement or recovery factors supplement, I can tell you about it and recommend it and give you a link, and then that can often give you a discount, and then you make an affiliate commission. It doesn't cost any extra to the person, and you obviously need to be recommending what you would believe in, but that's one way to make money with a blog. You can also do sponsorships where people might pay you to write a post about their product. So there's little ways like that to make money through your blog, but these other things I'm talking about are other ways to use your blog really to make an income, but you can put advertising on. It is messy and I am playing with it. You really don't make a lot of money unless you have very big traffic and spend a lot of time working on SEO and sharing consistently. And I've created a guide called the Paste Guide to Starting a Blog. So if you want the most intentional process that gets you starting your foundations right and considering the monetization angles and being intentional and doing it chronic illness friendly, the link is in my guide below. So the next thing, again, it stems from having a blog or a way to talk to people and share about it, because it's all one thing to have a product, it's another thing to be able to tell people about it, right? But the next thing is online courses. So do you have a good understanding of something? Maybe your profession has some tools that you can teach other people. I've lived, researched, and actively worked to manage fibromyalgia and chronic illness, and obviously yoga. And so I've created courses that support people in that as well. So basically a course in my books, they're shortcuts. So they are teaching information in a self-paced, chronic illness friendly manner. It's friendly for the teacher, the instructor, you, and it's also friendly for the student. They can access it as they have energy ability. So I use PayHip. So I use that for my digital products, but I also use that for my courses. I did a lot of research around these key online software, and that's what I ended up using with Careful Deliberation, but there's several out that you can choose from. They all have kind of varying levels of things that make it easier. But you can choose to keep your courses purely self-paced, or you can run them with a live component, maybe additional coaching. There's a lot of options there. So as an example that I provide in the worksheet, but for you now, my 10-minute toolkit and the foundations of yoga for chronic pain and fatigue, they are exactly what I teach you in person. If I could have you come to my lounge and we had a chat about yoga and how to use it in your life and how to get started, those courses are exactly what I teach you. And so instead of sitting down and teaching each person one by one, I can give the knowledge that I would give like that. So it's really efficient and a really wonderful way of doing it. And I feel it really brings value to people with chronic illness to be able to access it whenever they are able. The next way to make money online or genuine micro business idea is teaching or live services. So do you have something you could teach or a service you can perform in real life or virtually online live, that kind of thing? Some ideas are English lessons. They can be done in person or virtually. Reiki, massage therapy, nail technician, personal training. I know someone who does an online strength-based training, like weights, for people with fibromyalgia. Such a wonderful subject area to focus on. Nail technician, I think I said that one. Web design, editing. The list is endless, right? If you can package it up and offer it live or online, then that can be your service. This is where coaching fits in. So if you are an expert in something, if you have a passion for helping others to achieve their goals, especially in a specific area, this is this space for that. So like research around fibromyalgia, it's in its infancy, but their findings are that it is beneficial. And there are people now who are specializing in coaching fibromyalgia, and I think it's really wonderful because it is such a complex field, and having someone who can guide you through, someone who can help you with the systems, someone who knows that information, can come alongside you and support you, such a cool thing to do. But there's other things you can specialize in. There's life coaching, health coaching, therapeutic art life coaching, mindfulness coach, yoga, relationship, business, low carb coach. I mean, the list is endless. Anything someone needs support with to help someone do it more efficiently, and who's several steps along the way, that's where you fit in. So yeah, the idea is using your skills or honing new ones, and it's done in a way that provides you flexibilities. So do you need to work early in the day? Do you need long breaks between clients? Do you come alive later in the day? Can you do fewer hours over 6 days or more hours over shorter days? It's a wonderful thing to do. Again, it's, you've got to build in the fact that you have to find the clients and look after the clients. You need to make systems and processes to make it easier for you. And there's a lot of work that you have to do that's not paid work. So there's a lot to it, but there are ways to learn about it. There are loads of online programs and in-person programs to teach you if that's where you want to go. Now, another way to make money online, which I have dabbled in, well, not dabbled, I've worked extensively in this, is books. 1 or 2 books don't really make much money on their own, but I didn't write my books for that. It was a lifelong dream to publish a book. And I did so with pregnancy and fibromyalgia, and it just happened to be one of the only books ever written on the subject. So if you go to Amazon, I think it might be the only book you can purchase right now about pregnancy. So pregnancy and fibromyalgia is there, and an exciting accomplishment. But then I also went on to write Melissa versus Fibromyalgia, which is the next part of my journey, and it's more of a smorgasbord of like all the things you could try with fibromyalgia and that I've researched for you. And then Fibromyalgia Won't Win is basically my journey in depth, the exact things I did in more detail and more knowledge, because I learned a lot more things and experienced a lot more things. Like, it's been funny because I've lived with this condition for a long time, but I didn't really know all of the different things I was dealing with. Like, we didn't know until a couple of years ago that the severe headaches I was experiencing were actually migraine. We didn't know that the severe periods I experienced was actually endometriosis. So it's been a journey, and I had to fill y'all in. And I am actually writing another book at the moment, the next part of my journey. Way more to go into it. So writing that book, and I have just completed my first children's book. My mama has fibromyalgia. I'm waiting for my first copy to come. And I think if you have multiple books and focus on a good marketing plan, it can be a way to make income. Now, authors don't often make a full-time living from their work. It's like a really top percentage that make, a good income. But if you're focused on that, explicitly, it would be great. The hard part is writing the book. It is hard work writing a book and then editing a book, especially if you have chronic illness and it is hard for you to sit at a computer for any one amount of time. But once you've got it, you've got the systems there in place. And if you're really clever with your content and telling people about your work, then it's a no-brainer. And the cool thing about books is they're so affordable. Like a course might be $100 or a couple of $100, but a book is right there and they can hold it, it's tangible, and it's like $10 or $20. So books. And then kind of as a bonus that's related but not quite the same is journals. So I learned that I love creating pretty but functional journals. So you can create journals using print-on-demand services. It's called low content publishing. and the outlay costs are so small. So because of blogging, I already had learned a lot about using Canva for design, so it didn't take me too much work to design the books. And at first my brother designed the covers for me, but then I learned to design my own covers as well, and I learned to upload them myself. Amazon is still very difficult, but Lulu is so easy. So I now so what I did for most of them is took templates and worksheets I created and put them into book form, put a framework around them, added extra information because I can't leave a teaching opportunity behind, and I have journals, and I just love it. Like, it is such a, like, to hold the journal that you created and be able to share it with people, because they help people, and people tell me that they've been helpful for them. So that, I think you can tell, the thing that I'm most passionate about and am obsessed with. So journals are a wonderful micro business idea. Again, please don't get sucked in. You see the people and they're like, 6-figure business idea and you'll make lots of money and you don't even have to write anything. It's all micro business ideas and it all takes work. So don't believe the hype. Now I've got a few here for quick succession. Some because I haven't tried and some because I'll let you know. Freelance writing. So you can do freelance writing online. There is a person called Alna Kane who is wonderful at talking about that. You can Google her name and her website will come up. She has a free introductory course about getting started with freelance writing. If you're interested in freelance writing, I'd probably take her paid course as well, and I would really hone in on it. You do have to be careful because it can become a bit like a little treadmill. Like, there are some people who pay a lot of places that pay very, very poorly. So you've got to really try and focus and pitch on the places that will pay you properly. An e-commerce store, kind of like Etsy, but your own store, and you can host it on your own website. You can create your own products, but you can also present affiliate products there. So you can have your own store, you can have print on demand, like print on demand t-shirts, print on demand, all sorts. So that's another option. E-newsletter is the thing at the moment. I see it talked about all the time. So instead of having a blog or a YouTube and then getting people to your newsletter, they're kind of focusing straight on the newsletter. Obviously you have to have a way to get people to the newsletter, but I think most of those people use social media. But the idea is to monetize the newsletter. So you recommend affiliate products, sell your own products, whatever. Some people are actually paying people, like having paid newsletters. I haven't gone down that route, but that's the thing. YouTube, again, I talked about it. You can get monetized on YouTube, but I've been doing this for several years and I'm not yet at monetization metrics, and people who are monetized are saying it's not, that's not the be all and end all. The way to monetize YouTube is all of these other ways that you use YouTube as a vehicle. Get them onto your newsletter list, sell them a course, sell them a book, that kind of thing. There are other ways to use YouTube monetization, like the memberships and stuff, but you still have to reach those monetization metrics, and then you have to worry about the algorithms changing. A lot of people have got big talking about low carb and keto and carnivore, and now they seem to be being censored. So something to be mindful of. You want to own the real estate you're talking on, and you own your newsletter list, you own your blog. Don't really own YouTube. It's not to say it's not valuable and not a great thing to do, but just a thing to be mindful of. It can all disappear. The next thing to make micro business, online income, is memberships and bundles. So have you been providing something for free, like a blog or a YouTube channel or a support group? People been telling you they love your work? That's why I started my Patreon. I started my Patreon because people are saying, we love your work and we want a way to support you. And I said, okay, I'll start the Patreon, but I don't feel so comfortable just taking something for nothing, and that's why I made it my products. Should have just focused on that because I was giving them lots of things and I just made it exhausting for myself. But anyway, you can include bonus content in the form of videos or blog posts or downloads like ebooks and the free guide you can get that goes along with this video. So you can get your Ways to Make Money Online with Fibromyalgia ebook in the link below. And I give that first free to patrons. And you can create private groups where you can help people more in depth. It's kind of like group coaching, but a little more energy friendly. So my Yoga for the Chronic Life virtual yoga studio is an example of that. It's a blend of service, course, membership site. So it's a yoga library created with a specific curriculum to support people through it, to get people started in their journey with chronic pain and fatigue and yoga. Other examples include, like I said, a Patreon account, YouTube memberships. There's like a video platform membership called Uscreen, which people are talking about at the moment. There's a lot. So yoga for the chronic life is a membership, but another way to approach it is bundles. So if you have several related products or guides, you can bundle it together, and you can either sell it like that. So you've seen probably a lot of bundles around where they give you for a limited time, lots of different ones, and you can get a special deal for it. But another way you can do that is have the bundle and add extra support to it as well. So group coaching or a special group separate for it, or extra access to you. Just those things to add value, but also as long as what you're doing helps them with the outcome. So if it's, adding value to your program. So for example, when people have extra access to me in one of my programs, it's because they need to ask me questions or get feedback about something specific, and it's a way for them to reach their goals easier or in a more supported manner. So that's something to think of as well. Like, I'm very values driven, so everything I'm making, it's got to serve the audience as well as anything for myself. Now, the final thing is how to make any normal job easier for you. And so can you make your own job more flexible? So some ways to make it more chronic illness friendly involve reduced work hours. That has really helped me. That's just finding my pacing envelope. And so before children, that was 27 and a half hours. That was where my pacing was then. With small children, obviously it's changed significantly, but reduced work hours, maybe starting later if that works better for you, finishing earlier if that works for you, or less days per week, all that kind of thing. Flexible working hours, again, working earlier or later depending on what works for you, and maybe less days with more hours on each day. So if you're already getting ready, get it done, give yourself a break day. Working from home can be helpful for a lot of people, and any accommodations that make it easier. So a stand-up, sit-down desk, making sure you take your breaks appropriately, stretching, heating pads, maybe a quiet room and appropriate lighting, anything like that. Take a yoga nidra break in your car at lunchtime, or in a break room if they have it. That is my actual number one step. For anything you're doing any single day, but particularly to make work easier, take a yoga nidra break. You give yourself a rest, hopefully reduce some pain and tension, and get that nervous system calm and relaxed, ready for the rest of the day. So, that was a lot of stuff. That was more than 12 ideas for making money online, or micro business ideas. Tell me, have you tried any? Are you keen to try any? Download the free guide. The link is below. And if you need any other support, I've got a ton of videos on this channel. I've got 300 blog posts at melissaversusfibromyalgia.com. And if you want any of the tools I've talked about, all the links are in the free download. That was long. Let me know what you thought, and I'll catch you again soon.